Today, we're going to be busting imposter syndrome myths and letting you know some of the things that you believe that are completely untrue. I'm your mindset, confidence, and imposter syndrome coach, Coach Mary Medley. You can find me on Facebook and on Instagram at Mind Spirit is Wealth. Make sure you also click and hit the subscribe button because we always need your support. I'll get right down to it. What imposter syndrome is not? Number one, it is not a disease. The word syndrome makes people think that it is an illness that you can go to a doctor and be diagnosed. No, it is not. You're not imposter syndrome sick. Imposter syndrome is actually a mind pattern and a set of mind patterns. It is not even a mental illness. All perfectionists have imposter syndrome. This is also completely untrue. That is a myth. However, perfectionism is a persona that you can take up in order to feel competent in a project, in a new challenge, in a new job, in a new business, in a new relationship. So you make yourself perfect so that you can feel ready to be playing in that role, which means that you're not being yourself. So perfectionism and imposter syndrome have a link, but they do not mean that you have to be a perfectionist in order to have imposter syndrome. Another myth is that it's a woman's problem. This is completely untrue. Imposter syndrome is suffered by everybody across the board. It does not respect your gender, your age, it does not respect your industry, how much education you have, how many papers of experience you can prove that you have. Imposter syndrome doesn't care about that. Anybody can have it at any one time. It can strike at any one time. It is a professional and academic issue. This is another myth that I see, especially on Twitter. You see it on Twitter and you see people making comments saying things like, oh, get some confidence. And they so easily dismiss it as something that you only suffer during your PhD or academic growth. This is completely untrue. Imposter syndrome can be suffered in all aspects of your life, in academia, in your professional life, in your personal life, in your spiritual life. And as proof of this, I spoke to 12 experts in the month of June. Make sure you check out my Imposter Syndrome Summit playlist. And this is the link up here. You can be able to see how imposter syndrome can sneak in all aspects of your life, whether it's in your spiritual life, where you're seeking to have a better spiritual life, lead your life with purpose. Imposter syndrome can sneak in all its various limiting beliefs. Not everybody has the same amount of imposter syndrome. There are people who face it and beat it and deal with it at the moment who have moderate imposter syndrome. But there are people who have extreme imposter syndrome. They end up changing the trajectory of their life and making life decisions that are going to affect them forever because they have imposter syndrome. Take, for example, my expert speaker, Tara Holiday. She spoke to me, link here, and said that she changed the course of her life by doing a PhD she didn't need to do because she was afraid of management. And yet she had been selected to join a high management fast track. Can you imagine? She actually went to do a PhD to avoid management. So these are the types of decisions that you make when you have extreme imposter syndrome. In case you have other questions on imposter syndrome, please feel free to reach out to me. Subscribe to that button, please, and make sure you support us. The research shows that over 70% of people who watch YouTube videos do not subscribe to the page. But we need your support to spread the word, not only on imposter syndrome, but also mindset and confidence. I'm your imposter syndrome coach, Mary Medley. Thank you for joining me, and make sure you watch the other videos in this playlist.